If you're comfortable lying flat on your back, you can lie flat on your back on your yoga mat for this next section. If you feel more comfortable lying with your head elevated, come onto your bolster. We will all need a glider, ball, and medium hand weights. We'll begin with some breath work to feel the pelvic floor. Come to your lying position, place your ball between your inner thighs close to your mid-thigh area. Take a deep breath in and feel how naturally the ball will move your thighs away from each other, and that travels the breath down into your pelvic floor. Then exhale, feel for your sit bones, these bones right here that you sit on, squeezing toward the center and the pelvic floor pulling up and in away from the sits bones. So let's try that. Take an inhale, soften and relax. And then exhale, gentle squeeze on the ball. Feel your sit bones squeeze together and the pelvic floor pull up away from the sit bones. Inhale, soften. Exhale, squeeze gently, pull up. One more time, just like that. Inhale, relax. We're going to add on a pelvic tilt. We're going to tilt the pelvis forward, so coming into more of an arch for your low back with your inhale. And then as you exhale, we're going to come into a posterior tuck where your belly button and your pubic bone move closer together, like that. Take an inhale, soften and relax, tilt pubic bone away. Exhale, squeeze your pelvic floor. Squeeze the ball and then tilt your pubic bone toward your belly button. Two more like that. Inhale, relax. Balloon breath into pelvic floor. Exhale, squeeze the ball, pull up, draw pubic bone to belly button. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Adding on some bridges. Inhale, relax. Exhale, squeeze, press your feet into the earth, maybe move them a little closer to your hips, and then come up into bridge. Inhale at the top of your bridge. Exhale, roll down one vertebra at a time. Use that ball to help you keep your knees level. Inhale, soften the bottom. Exhale, squeeze ball, pull pelvic floor up, squeeze and lift. Inhale at the top. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, relax. Breathe into pelvic floor. Exhale, squeeze the ball, curl pubic bone to belly button, lift up. Inhale, breathe. Exhale, roll down. Nice work. This is a way to get you tuned into breathing and how your pelvic floor moves. You can set your ball aside and your bolster aside as well. We won't be needing your second block anymore, so you can also set that aside. Come onto a kneeling position. You can place the block right between your heels and grab onto your medium hand weights. I'm gonna warm up the spine and the obliques with some torso twisting here. You don't have to go very far, just warming up the body. I like doing these kind of spinal rotations in kneeling because your sit bones are resting on the block here. So you know that the rotation is coming from higher up and not from you simply swiveling your hips from side to side, which can happen if we're in standing. Last round here, pause in the center, come up into a high kneel. You can squeeze your block behind you with your feet for extra stability, and we're gonna come into side bends here. The idea here is that each time you bend, you create space in your side body. So I'm lifting here, opening up the space between my hip and my low rib. Lift, lift, lift. So shoulders are relaxed, but each time you're feeling for lifting and creating space. So as you do this, you get taller over time and your head comes closer to the ceiling. Good. Pause there. Set your block aside. Come into a low lunge. Have your weight in the opposite hand as your knee. We're gonna come into punching here. So when the weight is by your rib cage here, palm faces up, and then exhale, slowly punch forward, palm faces down. Inhale to center, and then exhale, push forward. Root your feet into the ground to help you balance here. Reaching the opposite arm out too now. Getting into a nice pattern of breath and movement. Last one here. And then coming into some narrow rows, rest your forearm onto your knee. Let your arm relax down, and then exhale, pull up. The weight is gonna skim right by your ribs for the narrow row first. Keep moving here, noticing your shoulder blade on your back, squeezing together as you do this. Coming to wide rows next, widen your arm out to the side and then pull up. So now the elbow is reaching out wide. Palm faces toward the midline of your body. Last one like this, and then we're gonna flip the palm around so it faces the back, coming into internal rotation, the shoulder here, and then wide rows. Definitely feeling it. If this ever becomes too much, you can always ditch your weight and do it without any extra resistance. Last one here. Nice work. Sit back onto a low kneeling position. Grab your weights, torso rotations here. This is a little palate cleanser before we move into the other side. Also helps to engage the obliques and teaches us how to create spinal stability here. Feel for your head staying stable right in space as you rotate. So the spinal column is one straight line and you're pivoting around that straight line. Come to high kneeling, side bends here. Emphasis on the lift up rather than the curling down. As the uterus takes up more and more space, creating that length in your side body gives you more of a chance to take a deep breath. And 2, and 1. Come into the opposite side lunge. Grab your weight in the opposite hand or come into punching, palm faces up by your side. Slowly punch forward, palm faces down, and then alternating arms. Front foot, press that foot very actively into the ground here. As you're progressing through your pregnancy, your balance is gonna change so much. When you can connect with your feet, this helps you so much with your balance. And then last one here, relax that down. Forearm to your knee, narrow rows. Skim the weight right by your side body as you're lifting here. So the elbow's gonna reach straight back. And 1, and relax. Wide rows, take your arm out to the side, and the elbow's gonna reach wide as you do your row. Last one like that. Flip your palm over to face the back. Internal rotation the shoulders. You're gonna do 6 more here. Whew. If you're feeling it, let your block go and it's still just as effective. Last one. All right, we made it. Give your shoulders a nice shrug and slowly make your way up to standing. Take your time to get there. Grab onto your weights again. Shoulder raise with hammer curl. As you shoulder raise, we're gonna turn our toes slightly out to the side, come into a squat. So you're making an L shape, one arm forward, one arm back. And then swing your arms to center. Exhale, stand up, hammer curl here. Opposite side, squat, arms come through center, stand up, hammer curl. Shoulder lift, hammer curl. Shoulder lift, hammer curl. Keep going. Build up your rhythm. Use your core here so that your full body doesn't tip forward and back as you do this, but stays really stable, and it's just your arms moving. One last one to each side. Awesome. Come into lunge. You're gonna do some pulses here. You can grab one or both weights. Stand with one leg forward, other leg back. We're gonna do little pulse lunges here on the glider. It's a small, small movement, just about an inch forward, inch back. Torso is gonna stay upright for this version here. Woo! Oh my God. If balance is an issue like it might be for me right now, you can always ditch your weights and place your hands on a wall and do them this way. All right, last one with the lunge pulse. We're gonna do a combo lunge and deadlift next. So last one, the torso was upright. This time, we're gonna tip the torso forward as you come into lunge. Let the arms relax down. Spine is long here, and then push up to standing and drag your foot back in. And then out and down and in. You can just let your arms relax by your sides when you come up. Two more. This slow drag in teaches us how to engage the pelvic floor and not just the leg muscles. So your pelvic floor works together with your glutes and your leg muscles to come up. Opposite side. Starting with the lunge pulses. Come into your lunge and then start to pulse it forward. Just an inch forward, inch back. Good, bring it all the way in. Deadlift lunge combo, let your arms relax down. And then exhale, coming back into lunge, reaching down with the chest, and then coming back up. Pull it back in, come all the way up. Back is long here. Feel for creating a slow drag in, engaging pelvic floor and glutes. Last one here. Awesome. Come off your glider, and you can use one or both weights at this time. We're gonna do a triceps exercise, but the main reason we're doing it is to train the core. So as soon as we lift the arms overhead, there's a tendency to compress the low back and arch. So I want you to use your strong core muscles, drag your ribs down. So you're kind of hollowing out this area, and keep that as you do your triceps. So while your arms are moving, we're avoiding this kind of arching motion with the back. Anchor your ribs down and just move the arms. Last two, last one, good. Grab your second weight, come back into a lunge, one leg forward, one leg back, and you're gonna tip your body forward. The opposite arm is gonna be forward, doing a biceps curl. The arm that's on the same side as your front leg is gonna be behind you, palm facing up. And once you get the hang of the biceps curl, feel for pulsing up with your opposite arm. Straight arm, just pulsing up. I love doing crossbody exercises because it's not only training your body, it's training your brain, crossing the center part of your brain and engaging both sides of the brain. Good. Release, come back to center, using one arm both ways, triceps. Feel your ribs anchor down, hollow out your lower chest and upper belly area. Last, 3, 2, 1, and release. Opposite leg forward, come into lunge. Or actually it's more like a warrior one because my heel is on the ground. But if your heel doesn't reach the ground, it can definitely be a lunge. Front arm is the opposite as your leg, and that's gonna do the biceps curl here. Back arm, palm faces up, arm is straight. And when you're ready, add on that little pulse here. So you're working the biceps on the front arm and the shoulder on the back arm. You got this. 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Step forward into a mini squat here. I'm gonna do a little bit more work on the back body here. So you can see my shoulders here. We're gonna do little pulses. Again, use your core here. Stay stable throughout your body. And then we're gonna lift, squeeze, lift, squeeze, lift, squeeze. 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Do a little bit more overhead work here. So grab onto your weights, and as you squat, you're gonna let your arms come down and then reach up when you stand up. Doing overhead press here. You can do this with your elbows wide if that feels better to you, or elbows narrow. Feel what works for your body. And go 3, 2, and 1. Pausing this in here, come back into your squat. Come into robot arms. I'm gonna pulse it up, one elbow up at a time. Use your core, you got this. Keep your spine stable, one arm moves at a time. And 2, and 1, and both arms pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Go ahead and let that go. And come into down dog on the wall. This is an awesome way to open the chest muscles after you just work them. Take some deep cleansing breaths here. Then start to swivel your hips from side to side. Coming back up, twisting triangle. Step one leg forward and then have your opposite hand on the wall. So the arm and leg, that's forward or opposite, back hand on your hip, and you can rotate open this way, or you can just have your hand on your hip here. If you want a deeper stretch, you can always step further away from the wall, so it comes into more of a traditional twisting triangle shape. The wall here is great because you don't have to get all the way down this low to the ground, which can compress your belly and the baby. Whereas here you can get that same spinal rotation, side body lengthening on the wall. Switch sides. Opposite arm and leg forward. Reach your hip back and then rotate. Deep, slow breath. Relax. We're going to begin to make our way onto the floor. At this point, it's helpful for everyone to use a yoga mat. have mine folded over so that there's extra padding. Come back onto your glider with one foot, and we're gonna start in all fours, just like this. And then slowly take the glider out and bring it forward as far as is comfortable for your body. And then glide it back, and then internally rotate here. So the heel's gonna turn out, toes in, and then drag it back in. And then rotating out through the hip, pull it forward. Feel for keeping your pelvis level, so you're not tipping over to one side. Pelvis level, using the muscles in the center of your body, your core, to create this seamless glide. As you do this, we're working our way through both external rotation and internal rotation. So important to work internal rotation in pregnancy, because the tendency in the pregnancy posture is for the legs to turn out. So here we're learning how to turn in and pull in. Good. Let's work the inner leg line next. Take your block off to the side, and then you're welcome to come onto your bolster or blocks here, whatever is helpful. You're gonna rest your forearm onto there, and then take your glider out to the side. You're gonna do little pulses here with your breath. I want you to feel for inhaling and softening your pelvic floor, so your foot's gonna slide out a little bit, and then exhale, squeeze the pelvic floor, pike the hips straight up, so the hips aren't swaying from side to side here. Hips are going up and then down, just very slightly. And it's that pulling in of the pelvic floor that moves the glider and engages the lower part of your body with your core in a synchronous way. Last one here. And relax. Let's switch it over to the opposite side. So whichever side you haven't done yet, we're gonna come into hands and knees. And then check this movement out here. So this is external rotation here, and then this is internal rotation. So as you're coming out, it's external rotation, pulling your leg forward to the degree that's available to you. Then as you come in, really accentuate the internal rotation here as you pull the knees back toward each other. Smooth, seamless glide, if possible. Internally rotate and pull in. Externally rotate, pull forward, and then back. Let's do two more. Feel for keeping your pelvis level. Last one. Excellent work. Grab onto either block or bolster and bring your leg out to the side now. So from this view, it'll look like that. And you're gonna rest your forearms onto your bolster or your block and feel into your pelvic floor here. So before you even move, send your breath down to your pelvic floor, relax. And then exhale, squeeze a little bit there, and naturally your leg will pull up and in. Time it with that movement of your breath. Inhaling, you'll subtly glide out. Exhale, draw up on pelvic floor. Pike your hips up slightly, and then out and in. Let's do 3 more on your own breath. Feel for engaging both the front and back part of your pelvic floor. So the front part is by the urethra, which would stop peeing, and the back part is by the anus. So as you're inhaling, feeling for relaxing all the pelvic floor, and then exhaling, feel for front and back of pelvic floor contracting as you pull your legs slightly in. And then inhale, relax. Go ahead and sit back. If you need to elevate your hips a little bit, go ahead and do that. Come into Baddha Konasana. Starting to wind down from our practice today. feet together. Take a deep breath in. Lengthen your heart forward, 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 and then you can let your chin bow. Keep the low back long. Slow, steady breath. Sending your breath to your upper back, all the muscles that we worked today. Inhale, come up through center. Take your left hand to your left thigh. So I'm not mirroring you, I'm also doing my left hand. And you're gonna traction your knee away from your hip as you side bend over to your right. Breathe into the left side body, expanding the space between your hip and your low ribs. Inhale, come up through center. Take your right hand over to your right, mid-thigh, left hand to the ground or onto a block. And then exhale, arc up and over to the side. As you take a couple more breaths here, feel a sense of gratitude for being able to engage your body in this strengthening practice today. Inhale to come up and release. Take one last deep breath here and exhale through your mouth. Awesome work.